We are live for the season 4 finale of Empire State of Baseball. Live on this Monday, November the 3rd, 2025, episode number 147, airing on Instagram, X, and YouTube. And as always, powered by StreamYard. And ladies and gentlemen, this is it. We've finally reached it. The season 4 finale of ESB. Why am I in a suit? Well, I'm a jackass for one. But number two, we'll get to the main reason why I'm in the suit. Big night here for season 4 for the season 4 finale. Oh, it wouldn't be the first time. It's probably like the second or third time we pulled this off. Maybe first for the bow tie tonight. But Tom, big occasion, our season 4 finale. And usually what our season finale means, there is a World Series winner in 2025.
Yeah, my LA Dodgers, the team I've been riding for weeks now. Little engine that could made a great comeback, great World Series in the pantheon of best Game 7s of all time, best World Series games of all time. It's in the conversation. So congrats to the Dodgers. I know everyone is rejoicing that the Blue Jays did not win.
And on this the season 4 finale, Corey Favs, a couple weeks ago, we revealed our Bears list. I know you were heavily involved with the rankings of our Bulls and Bears throughout the season, but big top 10 later on tonight involving our Bulls.
Yeah, exactly. It all comes down to this. See what the final ranking is. Again, if you remember a couple weeks ago, we did the Bears. We did top 10. We're going to do the same for the Bulls. Top 10 Bulls of the year. So we'll see which Mets and Yankees had the best year overall in New York. And I think we did a pretty good job. Again, we'll get to the voting results a little later, but I think between a lot of us here, we're pretty much in alignment across the board on that.
Looking forward to the official reveal of that. It's always a big talking point. I mean, every 2 weeks it was a talking point. So now imagine it being extrapolated throughout the 2025 season when we look at our top 10 Bulls. And of course, the reason why I'm in this suit today, I am one of your 4 hosts of tonight's ESBY Awards, Joe. Looking forward to our first inaugural award ceremony here on this Empire State of Baseball, episode 147.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We get to relive a little bit of what has gone on this year, some of the great moments, some of the not so great moments. It's going to be an entertaining time. We'll talk a little bit. It's not just going to be about us. It's going to be about the community, the people that have helped us have such a great year at ESB. So we hope everybody enjoys it. And, like I said, your name might be called upon or mentioned because you might have received an ESB award.
Absolutely. You heard the man. And speaking of being called upon, let's take a look at the audience today that have come out for the ESBY Awards and our season 4 finale. Jacob Petruzzi, huge props on a great year, fellas. Great job covering MLB this year. We really do appreciate you, Jacob. Our guy Hitman's in the building. Goes, what's good? ESB fan, Big Slick. Cucks on a Pond better win. The host of Cucks on the Pond for ESB NYY at Bronx. He might be nominated for something. We'll find out. Our guy Dennis is in the building. Shout out to Dennis. We got Jordan here. Hector, I hate the Blue Jays, Slick. Blue Jays dropping the World Series in 7 games. More on that in a little bit. It's rigged if Seth Lugo doesn't win the Cy Young, says Swift. Seth Lugo, known Cy Young finalist. Kristen, hi, y'all. And Dennis, again, tuxedo correction and that straight Step Brothers vibes. My guy, Dennis, in the building. Now, before we get into any of our topics today, today was pretty significant for baseball. Even a couple days removed out of the World Series. Not only did we start to see a lot of the players opt out of their deals, we saw Michael King officially opt out, Edwin Diaz officially opt out today. There's the reveal of the finalists for the awards: Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh, Jose Ramirez for the AL MVP, NL MVP showcased by Ohtani and Juan Soto. So a big day for MLB, but also there's a big day coming up for MLB throughout the offseason, and that's the Hall of Fame nods. And today there was a reveal of our contemporary ballot. And the contemporary ballot is one to look over here, gentlemen. As you see, and a lot of guys that, hey, if you were born in the early 90s and grew up through 2000s baseball, a lot of these names are not only familiar but significant in your life. Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Carlos Delgado, Jeff Kent, and you got Don Mattingly, Dale Murphy, Gary Sheffield, and Fernando Valenzuela. Joe, one of our favorite shows of the entire season is the our Hall of Fame episode, which actually realistically is an all-season episode, but it's one that we always look forward to. It's always a heated discussion at best. But when you look at those 8 guys that are up for this nomination of the contemporary baseball era ballot, do any of these guys stick out to you as somebody that you would 100% campaign for the selection?
Listen, that whole top row should be in the Hall of Fame. The bottom row has the more questions. We'll take Bonds and Clemens out of it. Jeff Kent not getting in via the writers, but he's the all-time home run leader at second base, is as big of a crime as I can remember the writers committing. Delgado, 473 home runs, I think it's 512 RBIs, an absolute slugger. So if the steroid guys aren't in, he's kind of that next tier of great cleanup hitters in the mid 2000s. He's an interesting case in my mind. I think Fernando Valenzuela is a cultural icon. If he gets in, it feels more like a lifetime achievement award for being such a cultural icon. His career's kind of got a dichotomy about it. He was really good for 5 or 6 years, and then he was really kind of not so good for the last 8-9 years. I think Don Mattingly obviously is a favorite. I've met Don Mattingly myself. Is a super, super nice guy. Again, I think the Don Mattingly problem is very simply he broke down late in his career. I think there's no question for a 4 or 5 year period, he's as good as it gets as far as players in MLB in that era is concerned. The problem is it is only a 4 or 5 year period. And then obviously he starts to break down. Dale Murphy's kind of in the weird category, 2-time back-to-back MVP. He's got really good seasons. His overall stats, I think he's 398 home runs off the top of my head. He's a 265 batting average. So he kind of finds himself in this middle ground where he's not the great slugger that if you hit 550 home runs, you can hit 265. He's not really in that category. So now he's batted 265 with 398 home runs. He's kind of in between state. Sheffield's one of the great right-handed hitters of all time. He's got 520-something home runs, 1,600 plus RBIs. He was a great player, not a great fielder. If I had to bet on who would get in, I bet Kent gets in. I will bank anything that Kent gets in. I don't know. The contemporary committee could basically end the steroid conversation and say Bonds and Clemens are in and then it opens the floodgates. Cool. Maybe that ends the whole steroid conversation once they
Corey
get
and then Tom, same question.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Joe in the sense that of all the names on the ballot, I think probably Kent has the best chance. Not saying he's the most deserving. That should, in my opinion, I would still just go F it, the steroid era, go Barry Bonds. He's purely the best hitter on that lineup. The one guy absolutely struck fear. He came to the plate. And Clemens the best pitcher on the contemporary ballot too. So I would love if the contemporary, and again, it's a 16-person committee. So it's a bit different than the actual typical Hall of Fame vote we see in January. 16-person committee. You need 12 of the 16 to say yes to get in. I would love if they said F you and put Clemens in there. And then it completely changes the conversation. There's no more of this debate. Should this guy get in? Should that guy get in? Moral of the story is the Hall of Fame. It's really unless you're doing something to degrade the game of baseball, like a gambling scandal, the Pete Rose situation. Again, that's a completely different argument. Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens. If you take steroids, it's not going to help your eye in terms of seeing a 99-mile-per-hour fastball down the middle. You know what I mean? You still have to have an eye for the plate. There's so much more involved to baseball than just purely roiding up and trying to hit 20, a bunch of home runs. They're pure, phenomenal baseball players. We all enjoyed watching them play. Those were guys that went out there, went to their positions, and struck fear, whether Clemens on the mound or Bonds in the box. I think enough's enough.
But-
Won't let the roid guys in.
For reference, Mattingly, the last time he was on a veterans ballot, got 8 votes. So he would need a +4 to get inducted.
Tom?
Yeah, I echo the Bonds and Clemens thing. I think it's we got to move past it. I think those guys are Hall of Famers. We understand what comes along with it, but Hall of Fame is also a museum, helping you tell the story of baseball, and you can explain. I know they're in the museum and other places, but they should be in. And then I think I honestly, and hate to say this, agree with Joe. I think it should be Kent and Carlos Delgado. I mean, Carlos Delgado, 473 homers, a career OPS of 138. I feel like he hit a home run every time I watched him play against the Yankees as a Blue Jay. That means something to me. I think there's something about a Hall of Famer that you kind of know when you see it. And there is numbers, right? I just read some numbers to you, but there's also guys who just kind of carry themselves the right way. Like you said, strike fear. I mean, Carlos Delgado was terrifying. I felt like he ruined so many games, games I watched, especially those Yankee Blue Jay games. So I do think he's in, or he should be in. I don't know if he will. But it will be interesting because of what this will change. Also, if we're just going off of that, Gary Sheffield should also be in. Gary Sheffield absolutely should be a Hall of Famer. I know he had some, no failed tests, but some controversy towards the end of his career. And but David Ortiz is in the Hall of Fame. So if David Ortiz with his failed drug test is in the Hall of Fame, then there has to be some of these other guys who frankly didn't fail drug tests. And you could say, oh, well, we know they did whatever. Sure, I guarantee there's other guys in the Hall of Fame that did steroids that we don't know about. But what we do know about is that we are heading into the fall, and it is time to layer up with Rhoback. The fall season is the layer season because in the morning it is cold. You need, you need long sleeves, you need sweaters, maybe you need a vest on. But as the day warms up, it gets warmer. Tomorrow, when we go to work tomorrow morning, boys, it's going to be like 40 degrees, and by lunchtime, it's going to be in the 60s. So those Rhoback layers are there to keep you warm. Okay, there's the hoodies. They have some nice crew neck sweaters, some heavier sweatshirts while you're cold in the morning. But then you shed those layers, maybe for a nice polo, maybe put a vest with a polo, all kinds of stuff. Rhoback continues to expand into other kind of clothing as well, more and more women's things available, and more other men's kind of like fashion things like outerwear, college stuff as well. As we're heading deep into the college football season, head over to Rhoback.com, use promo code TWASPL15 and get yourself 15% off your first order.
All right, Rhoback brings you your season finale rundown. We're going to kick things off with the postseason push, close out the World Series as a whole, and a phenomenal World Series it was in that 7-game span. Then we got to list our top 10 Bulls of the season, and then wrap things up with the most anticipated ESBY Awards later on tonight. But let's kick things off with postseason push. And yes, as I've mentioned multiple times, this is the Los Angeles Dodgers world, or in this regard, World Series, and we're just living in it. The Los Angeles Dodgers repeat champions, first to do it since the 99 and 2000 New York Yankees, now adding a 9th title to their franchise history. And it was something. It was something else, guys, when you saw this team on the brink of elimination in multiple occasions across Games 6 and 7. And the Blue Jays having multiple opportunities. It literally could have taken something as simple as a walk, something as simple as a sac fly, something as simple as a runner at third taking an extra step in a lead. And the Blue Jays would have been hoisting the commissioner's trophy and probably would have been parading around Toronto, Ontario today. But that unfortunately wasn't the case.
Rich, are you saying Blue Jays choked? Are you saying they choked? That they had it and they choked. It kind of sounds like they might have done that.
They might have did a little bit of that. And yeah, it really holds water to what Tom has mentioned, middle of the year, which may actually be nominated for an award later on tonight. Well, I guess we'll have to find out. But the Los Angeles Dodgers, Corey Favs, are World Series champions once again.
We are. And it was a phenomenal World Series. I mean, you look at the TV ratings, where they had over 25 million views for that game seven. I think this was the first game seven since the 2019 World Series, too. Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, as a fan on the outside looking in, where I really didn't have any stake. Yeah, I didn't want the Dodgers to win. I was rooting for the Blue Jays, but I didn't have like a rival playing in there. It wasn't my team playing in there. So really got to come in with more of a neutral mindset. Really was a phenomenal World Series. Dodgers now winning back to back. Chance for the three-peat next year. We'll see if they do it. And it's hard on paper to say they're not the early favorite going into next year with that absolutely stacked roster. I got to give a shout out Yoshiro Yamamoto. I mean, he had a great season. What about turning it up a notch even further in the postseason? Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you got the World Series numbers up there. 17 and 2/3 innings to basically a 1 ERA. Absolutely incredible. But like you said, Rich, too, it's at any point this series, one call goes the other way, one bounce goes another way, one ball doesn't get lodged under a wall. It could have been a Blue Jays World Series. And that's what you want, especially as a neutral fan. You want to see great baseball, entertaining baseball. And this World Series was exactly that. Especially with the going back and forth, too. Blue Jays with the huge game one, putting on a monster showing on Blake Snell in game one. Took them to like the sixth inning, and then they took off. Then the Dodgers going ahead 2-1. You're like, this series is probably over. LA took the lead. And then all of a sudden, Blue Jays come back, just have to win one at home. And then sure enough, they didn't get it done at home. So it really was a great World Series all around.
Not saying it's going to get lost in it, but what Yamamoto did is truly incredible. And I know you could point to other pitching performances in the World Series. You can go back to Randy Johnson in 2001. You can go to Jack Morris. You can go to
Patty.
But to Bumgarner. But I think in today's baseball, where every pitch is just as high intensity as possible, they aren't holding back. They're going full tilt. For him to pitch 100 pitches in Game 6, and then to come in and pitch three full innings in Game 7 and just absolutely shut it down, go through the heart of that lineup and get it done, is something I don't know if we're going to see that again. I don't know how he was available to pitch, and just such a well-deserved World Series MVP, and Dodgers got their $325 million worth. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, he earned that contract.
Joe, where does this Game 7 rank among, forget about just World Series, but baseball Game 7s in general?
I mean, that's tough. There's some great Game 7s. It's up there, at least in my lifetime. It's probably the best one since, what was it, the David Freese game?
That was Game 6, but yeah, sure.
Was that Game 6?
Yeah, that's to see you tomorrow night.
Yeah, but the Game 7 was epic as well, if I remember correctly.
I think St. Louis didn't really make that much of a contest. I think Cardinals were running in with so much momentum after that Game 6 that it wasn't really right. They got an early lead. They didn't really look back.
What was the other game? The game that Bumgarner came in. That was a great game. And
I mean, Cleveland, Chicago had one hell of a game.
Cleveland, Chicago. Cleveland, Chicago might be the best one. The go ahead, the Rajai Davis home run to tie it. Chapman comes out for the next inning. I mean, that two teams who hadn't won in at least 75 years. I mean, that to me was probably the pinnacle of Game 7. This was close, and I got to credit Yamamoto. I did not to do what he did, to come out and throw close to 40 pitches the day after he threw 96 pitches the night before. He absolutely deserved the MVP. He earned every dime of his $325 million contract.
Joe, you just reporting everything I just said?
Contract.
Were you listening?
I was listening. I'm reiterating. I'm emphasizing that I agree.
Bring something.
It was phenomenal. Listen, I know there's a lot of people who say the Blue Jays choked and whatnot. That's a Tom theme. But when you bring the Dodgers, the defending champs, to extra innings in Game 7, it's hard for me to say you choked. This was a well-fought series of two teams that matched up. We say a lot. It's a boxing term. Styles make fights. And the Blue Jays and Dodgers are built stylistically to fight each other, to battle each other in that way, because neither team can overpower the other one without it having a response the next day. And so that's why I felt that this was a great matchup. It was a great World Series. I think it was the highest rated World Series in the last 2 decades. And it was well-deserved to be that.
Got a bunch of comments to call out. I just wanted to call out this one here, Tom, from Chris Nieves, our very own Chris over at Bronx. The greatest Game 7 I've ever watched. Almost a fight, comebacks, throws at the plate, clutch home runs, stars, extra innings. I could keep going. Tom?
Yeah, to the choking point, and I agree with Chris said there also. I think it's I guess to Chris's point, the extra innings is great. Like when you get to Game 3 or Game 4 where they're at 18 innings, that's too long. That's too long for a baseball game. But going 2 or 3 extra innings is perfect in a Game 7 situation. To the choking point for the Blue Jays, I think throughout the playoffs, they did their best to get rid of that moniker. They beat the Yankees, then they beat the Mariners, and it's like, well, maybe they're not chokers. But to say that what they did, especially in those last 2 games at home, giving up a home run to Miguel Rojas is, criminal. It's criminal to give up a home run to that guy. He had it. I don't think hit a ball into the outfield in 6 weeks, and then he hits one of the biggest home runs in World Series history. They absolutely did choke at the end of the day. And if it wasn't for Mattingly on that coaching staff, that's the only thing that makes me feel a little bit bad about them being just incredible chokers and losers. But my God, they had it. They beat the Dodgers, and then they let it slip away
multiple times. And things you just don't see across a 162 game schedule that only get exposed in the World Series. How about the Game 6 wedged ball that Addison Barger hit the left center field?
Yeah.
And the genius of Kike Hernandez and Justin Bean throwing their hands up there to not play that ball. We would, again, another situation where we're probably talking about a different winner of the World Series right there.
Yeah. That was the right call. I know some Blue Jay fans were upset about it, but at the end of the day, if you go to reach to pick up that ball and it's jammed in there and you can't get it out, then you
it's not even that. The ball, if it hits off the wall, it's supposed to bounce.
Correct.
Back. It gets lodged. So you're playing for a bounce, and you're staying back 15, 20 feet for especially a ball hit that hard. And when it gets lodged, I mean, it's an extra base. Any kind of a speedy base runner that goes from a double to a triple every time. That's why it's the rule. And for the people complaining about it, watch baseball because it happens all the time.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I didn't think it was. I don't even think the Blue Jays players thought it was unfair. I think that everybody who saw that were like, "This is the rule. That's how it is."
The chokers, not idiots.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
The problem was they had second and third with no out and couldn't convert.
I know.
So if you ask the Blue Jays, it's their own fault. They're still in great position regardless.
Exactly. You're still in position to get at least one run in there. Find a way to drive it in. One thing that did come to mind, a little bit of a throwback here. I thought we had a legitimate chance of having Rich's bold prediction from 2024 coming true with an offensive win in the World Series.
I didn't even think about that. The most stupidest ball prediction of all ball predictions, which is just a hunch prediction. Yeah, it almost came true a year later, but that was not the case. Dodgers win in 7. Now, real quick before we get to our Bulls of the season and rest of the show. So now the Dodgers won 2 years in a row. Shohei Ohtani's already calling for the 3-peat. It's a very early prediction at this point, fellas. I'll go around the room. Corey, Joe, Tom, do you guys see the Dodgers 3-peating in 2026?
I think they're the betting favorite. It's until proven wrong, I can't go against them. Blue Jays gave them hell of a run. I don't even know if the Blue Jays are a playoff team next year, whereas the Dodgers, I think, are the World Series favorite, at least at this moment in time.
I mean, the Dodgers right now are probably going to go into next year with almost the exact same team. If you think about roster turnover, they're going to turn over probably the lowest percentage of their team of any playoff team. The problem I think the Dodgers are going to start to run into is Freeman is starting to get older. Betts started to show a little bit of age in this series. Muncy is old. He might not be back. Rojas might not be back. There's a lot of guys on that team that are starting to creep up there. So it's not going to be quite as easy. And you saw now somebody can push them to a game 7. They're beatable.
Right.
They're a dynasty at this point. They're the dynasty of this era. They've won 3 out of 5 now. So that's officially a dynasty. 100%. I don't even care if it's 2020 or not. But yeah, at this moment, before I know where Scooble goes, before I know where Tucker goes, before I know where any of those guys go, I got to say the Dodgers, because I think the Dodgers going to bring back 90% of the same team.
3 out of 6, but same deal, Tom.
Yeah, whatever. Still, it's very impressive. Also, don't yell at me, yell at Joe. Yeah, I think the other thing. So yes, they do have some key players getting older, but we also have seen the Dodgers constantly improving the team, going out and spending money, making big trades. I don't know what that trade is right now on November 3rd, but I guarantee they are going to be cooking up things, trading prospects away to improve this team, signing guys. And the other part of it is, what are you going to say, Rich?
I was going to say, and there's connections to Kyle Tucker and free agency. I mean, the Dodgers can still have the potential to get better and still add to the deferred money they already owe these players. And
the other thing is the NL, which for the last few years has been the better league and still might be, is going on, I think, a downward trend. The Phillies are definitely talking about seeing their age. They're really seeing their age, and there's some talk of that team kind of be broken apart. The Padres, I don't know how long they're going to be able to hold it together with kind of the craziness of that front office. You would assume the Mets are going to be better next year, but a lot of has to go into that pitching staff to make the Mets a true contender. And then you still got the Brewers who just do it with, I don't know, magic and pixie dust and whatever they're doing. So I think the NL is going to be as ripe for the taking for them next year, even if they are a little bit older. And, if they get to the World Series, then who knows? They're probably also going to get Scooble. I'm just going to say it. They'll probably find a way to trade for Scooble. And
Halloween was 3 days ago, Tom. We don't need to scare any more people after that.
But the thing is, the Dodgers are a team who will make that trade. They're not going to worry about trading their top prospects because we don't know. It's they are all in all the time. It's something I've wanted the Yankees to do for so long, but they're so reluctant to do it. The Dodgers are the model for, if you're talking about dynasty, I think that is more of what their legacy is. It
also helps their AAA affiliates, the Yomiuri Giants or whoever is supporting.
Yeah, but because they made themselves that attractive. It's not like the Dodgers have something, and you say it's a West Coast team, and yes, that appeals to Japan, and that is true. Last time I checked, there's other teams on the West Coast, and they seem like the Dodgers are the ones attracting players because they spend money. They're a big brand. They brought these guys in, and players want to go to winning teams. So I don't fault them for that at all.
All right, shout out to the
point
chat.
too about Yankees want to go all in. The Dodgers. It doesn't matter if you absolutely obliviate your farm system and you win 3 or 4 World Series in a 5 or 6 year span. It doesn't matter if it takes you a decade to rebuild that farm system. Mission accomplished.
These guys in the chat that think, come on, guys, we're redefining it because you don't like the fact that the Dodgers are the dynasty. I mean, that's like saying the San Francisco Giants and the Cardinals didn't have dynasties in the late 2000s, early. The Giants had a dynasty.
The Cardinals didn't have a dynasty, Joe.
What?
Joe,
the Cardinals did not have a dynasty.
No, I mean, the way they're treating you, this take might be up for an award in 2026 already.
I'll push back. I should have pushed back more last year. Yes, the Giants won 3 World Series. Yes, that's amazing. You know what they did in between those years? They didn't make the playoffs. Dynasty teams don't miss the playoffs.
The Dodgers are in the playoffs every single year. Anybody who's saying that the Dodgers need to win another one to be a dynasty is that's the most absurd thing. In this decade, they're the premier team of the decade.
Let me just get to the chat real quick. Shout out to Sierra in the building. Sierra has always been our bigger supporters between not only Spaces and the live streams, but just anything overall when it comes to ESB. So shout out to Sierra here. And we got a lot of suit comments. CK, Rich looking like James Bond. Mike Pars, Snazzy Rich. Hitman, Rich looking like Uncle Phil's backup butler while Jeffrey is on vacation. And Lindsay, shout out to ESB. What's up, fella? Love the talks, Rich. Thank you very much, people. Corey Favs, so all...
Jeffrey.
Huh? What was that?
You could never be Jeffrey.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I won't be a butler. That's cool. Done. Easy.
Disrespect Jeffrey like that. You get the fuck out of here.
Corey Favs all year long has been killing it with the Instagram game. And I know there's definitely more that you're going to be working up during the off season here. So what's the latest and greatest with Instagram there, Corey?
Go ahead and follow us at Empire State of Baseball on Instagram. You'll find our archive segments, our meme reels, graphics from the show. You can even watch the show. So if you're watching us there, thank you. We really appreciate it. Although we do recommend go to YouTube to watch it. We can interact with you. You can comment.
100%.
It's just a better overall viewing experience on YouTube. But if you are watching us on the gram, thank you. We appreciate it. So again, at Empire State of Baseball. We're at 7,900 followers and growing. So really hoping to hit that 8K mark very soon. All it takes is one more reel. That could put us over the top. And you can follow us all individually. Myself at Corey Favs, Joe at Jared Pugs, Richard Rivera, and Tom at T. Wospil.
You heard the man. Appreciate you, Corey, as always. And of course, great work all year long. Great work that you've been doing for the Instagram for the last few seasons now. We really do appreciate it, man. Keep it up. But let's get into it. It is now time to reveal the Bulls of the 2025 season. Yes, we're making you all wait for the ESBY Awards. I know that's what you're all looking forward to, but we got to get to the business of our top 10 players exclusive to the New York Mets and New York Yankees. The only caveat about this is postseason is not included. So all the numbers you're going to see are just across the regular season here for the Bulls. So we're going to start things off from 10 to number 9. And I'll kick this off with just, a trio of New York Yankees. The number 10 spot, we got Jazz Chisholm Jr., 30-30 season for Jazz, 31 homers, 31 stolen bases, 813 OPS for Jazz, 80 RBIs. Jazz had a great season. Again, we're not using playoffs as a metric here. It's just unfortunate he wasn't able to kind of keep that up during the postseason run, and I'm seeing a lot of chatter online. Oh, maybe it's time to move Jazz, but with the way Jazz has played, at least for the regular season in a year and a half, he's been great with the stick. It's been nice to see him exclusively stick to second base for the majority of the 2025 season. So looking forward to seeing more Jazz Chisholm come 26. The number 9 spot is one of two outbound free agents for the New York Yankees. First is Trent Grisham. Trent Grisham, a surprise season for the Yankees outfielder who started the 2025 season on the bench. There was no expectation for Trent Grisham. And yet, look at the numbers below, and you would have thought that Trent Grisham was a perennial all-star. 34 homers, 74 RBIs, and 811 OPS for Trent Grisham. Had a coming out party on a contract year. So Trent looking to make it big this offseason. And in the number 8 spot, we have Cody Bellinger, another outbound free agent, actually recently announced that he's opting out of his Yankees deal. Had a player opt out there. Cody Bellinger, 272 batting average, 813 OPS, 29 homers, 98 RBIs. Cody Bellinger doing it on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. And one of the prevailing topics over the offseason here, Thomas, with Cody Bellinger in free agency now. That is our 10 through 8. And Tom, it's good to see Yankees kicking off this side of the list.
Yeah, and also crazy. All their numbers are like exactly the same. 31 homers, 34 homers, 29 homers. OPS for Cody, 813. Trent, 811. Jazz, 813. So basically, you're getting a similar production out of all these guys. Cody definitely getting the nod because of his versatility, being able to play multiple outfield spots plus first base. Jazz adding some stolen bases in there. Trent, like you said, wasn't expecting. This truly came out of nowhere. If you would have told us last year that Trent Grisham was going to land on a Bulls of the year list, I think we all would have laughed. But it's nice to see, again, especially regular season production. These are the kind of players you need to win games in regular season to help better position yourself in the postseason. would have liked some of these guys to perform a little bit better in the postseason, but that's for a different show.
Joe, let me turn it over to you for the next three on our Bulls of the 2025 season.
Okay, number 7, we have Francisco Lindor, 31 home runs, 31 stolen bases, his second 30-30 season in as many years, and the shortstop for the New York Mets. Number 6 is Carlos Rodon, who had a rebound season and the kind of season that the Yankees signed him for. 195 innings pitched. He was their workhorse this year, 3.09 ERA, 203 strikeouts. This is what the Yankees signed Carlos Rodon to be. We'll see coming off the injury how he looks next year, but he is the number 6 on the list this year. Number 5 is Edwin Diaz, one of the best closers in all of baseball, who is a free agent now. 28 saves, 1.63 ERA, 0.87 whip, 98 strikeouts. I don't know how many innings pitched that is, but that just a very large number from a closer. That is over 66 innings. So 98 strikeouts in 66 innings. Edwin Diaz cracks the list at number 5.
I mean, the funny thing that jumps out right away, and Tom mentioned it with 8, 9, and 10, Francisco Lindor right there at number 7 and 811 OPS. So you have 4 guys between 811 and 813 OPS, all very similar ballpark. Same thing with Bellinger giving you good defense, Lindor giving you good defense at a premium position. And gotta give a shout out to Diaz. I know he officially opted out as of today. I do think he comes back. I think there's a greater chance Diaz is a Met next year than Alonso. But ultimately, we'll see how it works out. Phenomenal season for the Mets this year. But we'll take it ahead. We got our next set of Bulls of the Week. At number 4 is another player who's opting out and becoming a free agent. That's Pete Alonso. Phenomenal year for Pete. 871 OPS, 38 home runs, 126 RBIs. I know when you look at the home run numbers, when you think of Pete Alonso, you remember the one he had the 50 his rookie year. He's had 40 a few times, like 38. Well, a little lower. It's not. I mean, this year was such a good year for Pete Alonso. He got the average up this year. He was in the 270s, 126 RBIs. When you're hitting behind Lindor and Soto, and those guys getting on base, Soto especially, hard to not drive in that many runs. Max Fried was the best pitcher in New York this year. Again, 19-5 record, 286 ERA, 110 WHIP. An absolutely phenomenal signing for the Yankees this past season. Absolutely phenomenal job. And Juan Soto, number 2. Impressive to put up these numbers, considering that the first 6 weeks of the season was a slow start.
Yep.
He was not anywhere close to this pace. But then once the second half of May came around, Soto woke up. Weather got a little warmer, and his bat got hot. I mean, 396 on base, 921 OPS, 43 home runs, 105 RBI. And that's not even including the stolen base numbers for him, 38, which blows out his previous high of 12, which he did twice in his career. Really a phenomenal season overall for Juan Soto. If it wasn't for the number 1 player having such a phenomenal year as well, Soto, in most towns, this is the Bull of the Year.
And I'd say Tom and Joe, like looking at the number 2 and 3 spots, I mean, these are the 2 biggest parts of the Yankees and Mets respective 2024, 2025 offseason. So to see them have this kind of season that they have, arguably career best for either player, and then to be listed out at the 2, 3 spots, like Tom, Joe, I mean, it goes to show how important these 2 guys were to either New York side.
Yeah. And listen, I mean, Soto, is a finalist for MVP this year. I don't know if Fried's going to be finalist for Cy Young, but I think he's certainly going to be in the top 5 for the Cy Young. And for the Mets, Juan Soto was plan A, and for the Yankees, Max Fried was plan B. And they both worked out for each team. The Mets obviously had other issues that went wrong. So you could argue that Max Fried actually worked out better for the Yankees than Juan Soto did for the Mets. You can make that argument. But yeah, I 2 free agent signs that are going to pay dividends for the teams, for both teams for years to come. I think it's an encouraging sign. I think Soto for the Mets is a very encouraging sign because he had such a rough first 2 months. He had such a rocky first 2 months, and to turn it around and be a finalist for MVP when for the first half of the year it was considered a down year for him, I think is a really good sign. And I hope he continues to go back. He led the league in stolen bases. That's the most wild stat that I can think of this year is Juan Soto led the National League in stolen bases. That's crazy.
And yeah, so moving to it, that is crazy, by the way. That's really crazy stuff. Steals are so up, and then they were down, so that's weird. Anyway, Max Fried, numbers are great, but I think what you don't even see in the stats was he was so good after Yankee losses. He was really that stopper where he would come in, especially some rough times of the season, give a good effort. If it wasn't for that blister situation in right on the All-Star break, he would definitely be a finalist for Cy Young if he wasn't if he's not already, and probably could have had an argument for winning it, depending if those that like month stretch wasn't as good as it could be. But as we move to number one, there's only one number one it could be. It's Anthony Volpe, number one Bull. No, it's Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is number one Bull. Should be MVP as well. 331 average, while 1.144 OPS, 457 on base, 53 homers, 124 walks, 114 RBIs. Aaron Judge is the Bull of the year, despite having his elbow injury towards the middle-ish of the season that sidelined him for a little bit, then kind of really relegated him to DH. Still was putting up great offensive numbers, even with a little bit of that slow stretch. He's the guy. We're seeing something that we've never seen before from a right-handed hitter. And it's something that, as Yankee fans, we're so conditioned and we're so focused on the World Series and all of that. I just hope people are really appreciating what they're seeing in Aaron Judge. It's what, your grandparents saw with Mickey Mantle. It's what your great-grandparents saw with like a Lou Gehrig and a Babe Ruth. That is like the level of offensive production that he's putting out there. I don't think it's overlooked, but if anyone is overlooking it, please don't. He's incredible.
He's one of the top 2 or 3 baseball players I've got to watch across 20 plus years of fanhood, and it's a shame year after year that he's still not hoisting that commissioner's trophy. But putting all the postseason stuff aside, it's amazing watching this guy be the player who he is, especially considering that 2023 was a rough year for both Mets and Yankees fans. And one of the down points of that year was when Aaron Judge got hurt. And there's a lot of people saying that sort of injury could ultimately not return that player back to the form that he once was. And there's an argument that he's been a better player since that year. So to see Aaron Judge do what he does, it's amazing. But here is our top 10 Bulls of the 2025 season as we wrap this up. Jazz Chisholm Jr. at the number 10 spot, Trent Grisham at 9, Cody Bellinger at number 8, Francisco Lindor at 7. If you guys remember from last year, Francisco Lindor and Juan Soto, while he was a Yankee, were tied at the number 2 position in last year's Bull ranking. Lindor came down the rankings just a little bit. Carlos Rodon at 6, Edwin Diaz at 5, Pete Alonso at 4, who surprisingly wasn't on the Bulls list last year. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was just slow. It was just 10 better contenders, or it was a slow Alonso year in 2024. I thought that was interesting. Max Fried at number 3, Juan Soto again repeating at the number 2 spot, and Aaron Judge also repeating at the number 1 spot. Your 2025 Bulls of the season. Good stuff, everybody. All right, Joe, let's touch on YouTube, and before we're going to get to the ESBY Awards from there. So go right on ahead.
Okay, we are live on Instagram and X, but YouTube is our preferred method of viewership, our preferred platform, should I say. Why? Because we can interact with you, the chat, live on the show. As you may not have noticed, we can bring up your comments, questions, concerns, get a pulse of what you guys, the listeners, are feeling. So go over to YouTube, search Empire State of Baseball, hit that subscribe button. It's free, and join the discussion for the Crosstown Conversation. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe all the videos you view because it helps us out tremendously. We're over 520 subscribers. We're really trying to get to 750 subscribers, and we'll do another giveaway, maybe another autograph baseball. We did give away a David Cone autograph when we hit 500 recently, and I believe Swift was the one who won that.
Yes, of course. Swift was the winner of that. One of our couple of giveaways that we've done since our inception. So, yep, we'll be back at it again at the 750 mark. But it's now time. We cannot waste any more time to get into the inaugural 2025 ESBY Awards. And let's take it away to the prop. Now time we get into it.
You didn't make
ESBY
envelopes for this, did you?
The ESBY Awards. The ESBY, by the way, stands for Excellence in Streaming and Baseball yearly. And also, we are trying not to get sued by ABC and ESPN. And what's at stake? Well, it's this award right here, this ESBY. And there's going to be a few of these handed out today. Not really. We didn't get these things actually created. But let's do it. It's the ESBYs. Now, we have a few different categories. There's 4 actually. We have segment awards. We have fraternity awards for our community. We have show awards, and we have player awards, which we're going to start things off of very shortly. But one of our segments, and I have to start off by commending this person right here for not only creating a new concept that is also nominated for award later on today, but winning said concept.
Thank you, Rich. I do want to accept my award for creating so much and truly receiving so little.
Just a bunch of bullshit here, but I want to formally congratulate Joe Pugliese on his win in the trading floor, the winner of our first year of doing the trading floor. 461.98 ESB bucks for Joe. He is our investor of the year. Joe, you want to take the opportunity now to accept your award? Go right on ahead.
I will accept my award, and listen, I want to thank Rich and the rest of the guys for encouraging me to explore my creativity. But listen, when you create a game, you best know how to play it. God. So, if you create a monopoly, you better be rolling doubles constantly. You better be, playing the banker. So for me, when I create a concept, I got to be the banker, baby. I got to be the winner. So I'll thank Rich. I appreciate it, and I'll take my championship ring and I'll slip it on right here, and there's my ring for the
Sierra. ESBY needs new headshots for the 2026 season. Congrats, Joe. Great headshot. Is that your new LinkedIn photo?
No, it's actually not.
Joe invested. And who knows? This could have been Tom if he would have sold Aaron Judge, middle of the season. I don't know.
If you guys didn't cheat.
There was no cheating involved, and you know that. Okay, let's get into our first set of awards. These are the player awards. And by the way, the Academy was the 4 of us here. And if there was ever a tie-break scenario, I reached out to another extensive family member of ESBY. There was only one time where I needed to do that, so we were able to kind of keep all the votes in-house. But we may expand the Academy in 2026. All right, we're going to start things off with our player awards. That is going to signify the excellent work by the Major League Baseball players. And, of course, you guys saw today the finalists for Rookie of the Year, MVP, Cy Young. Well, we do our own version of those awards, but we bring both the leagues together for those awards. So we're going to start things off with our MLB Newcomer of the Year. And the nominees are Jake Baldwin of the Atlanta Braves, Cade Horton of the Chicago Cubs, Nick Kurtz of the Athletics, and Jacob Wilson, also of the Athletics. A young core brewing over in Sacramento. And the winner of this award, and it would have been a great time to get a drum roll, but you know what? Not in the budget in 2025, apparently. The winner of this award is Nick Kurtz. Nick Kurtz is the winner, and Kurtz, Corey Favs, you look at the numbers here, 36 homers. This guy, I believe, is 22 years old and putting up a big boy. I mean, you would have thought this might have been an Aaron Judge stat line looking at Nick Kurtz here.
I mean, absolutely phenomenal season. I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't even know who this guy was. And here he is, Newcomer of the Year, 36 home runs at first base for the Athletics. I mean, this guy wasn't even when we did our preseason rankings, position by position. I know we went through those again. We revisited those a few weeks back. Nick Kurtz didn't even receive a single vote. We probably had about 15 or 20 first basemen get nominated for a top 10 vote when we did our rankings. He did not come on the list whatsoever. Absolutely phenomenal year for this young athletics first baseman.
Jacob with the LI quote, we should have tanked for Nick Kurtz. Could be nominated later. Could be nominated. All right. Our next player award, we'll try to get through this quickly. Our next player award is the pitcher, the MLB pitcher of the year. And the nominees are, we have 2 from the AL, 2 from the NL, Garrett Crochet of the Red Sox, Paul Skeens of the Pirates, Tarek Skubal of the Detroit Tigers, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto of the Los Angeles Dodgers. And it looks like we do have a drum roll. Look at this. Bang. All right. And the winner.
Bongo roll.
Oh, wow. With the syllable and everything. Look at that. Look at that. All right. The winner of this is Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens, the winner of the MLB Pitcher of the Year, 1.97 ERA for Paul. The 10-10 record is more reflective of the fact that he plays for the Pirates, 216 Ks. Joe, I heard a when you saw that. Did you have Paul Skeens as your winner?
No, and here's why. I know this might only be regular season we're taking into account. The difference is Skubal, for 2 years now, has not only done it in the regular season, but he's done it in the playoffs. And that guy has carried the Tigers in the playoffs the last 2 seasons. So for me, Skeens has better regular season statistics than Skubal, but for my money, I'm taking Skubal because I've seen Skubal pitch when there's pressure on. Skeens has never pitched in a high-pressure game in his life, and that's the difference. And again, that's not taken away from Skeens. He's a great pitcher. But if you're asking me for one guy, one start, I'm taking Skubal.
Okay. Well, Paul Skeens, the winner here of this award. So now we move over to the MLB Hitter of the Year. This will be our final player award before we get into some more fun stuff. And our nominees are Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees. We got Shohei Ohtani of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Cal Raleigh, Seattle Mariners catcher. What a story for Cal this year. And Juan Soto of the New York Mets. And our winner of this award, with a 3-1 vote within the host, is Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge with the win here, 331 average, 457 on base percentage, 1.144 OPS, 53 homers.
Who didn't vote for Aaron
RBIs.
Judge? Let's reveal the ballot. Who didn't vote for Aaron Judge?
Let's find out who did it. Who did not vote for Aaron Judge?
I think we all voted for Aaron Judge, right?
I did.
Did I vote for
No.
Raleigh?
You voted for Raleigh.
I did.
Yeah, you voted for Raleigh.
You're a jerk.
Oh, you were going to hide behind it and everything, Joe. Damn you.
I you know,
What a jackass you are.
I did vote for Raleigh.
So Aaron Judge is our winner. So big win for Aaron Judge. He's not only our MLB Hitter of the Year, but he was also our Bull of the season. So big time night for Mr. Aaron Judge. All right. Now, we're going to move on from the player awards. By the way, let me take a look at your comments here as they're trickling in. And we do appreciate you guys checking in on the ESBY Awards. They said it must be Joe. It was definitely Pugliese. I wouldn't have voted for Judge out of those 4-star. Yank says Lindsay, Swift goes Joe Pugliese, Yankee hater. Joe Petrified goes Jacob Petruzzi. All right, now we get into some fun stuff. We're off the hitters. Who cares about the professional athletes that are making millions and millions of dollars? Let's talk about the community. Let's talk about the stream. Well, actually, we'll start off here with our show awards. So this is all centered around the streaming, ESB, and everything in between. But one segment that's going to be nominated for an award that's upcoming was another debut segment, just like the trading floor. We also had our first ever fantasy league here throughout the 2025 season. And I got to credit Corey Favs for coining the concept of it. Of course, we play fantasy baseball all the time.
No, he didn't. I came up with the concept of it.
You did?
Yes.
Corey was just the commissioner.
Corey is the commissioner, but it was my idea. You're right.
Okay, so Tom for the idea, Corey to be the commissioner.
God
we do
damn it.
appreciate both your efforts. Thank you so much,
This
guys.
is what I'm
You did
talking
a
about,
great
people.
job.
Just no respect.
But listen, we're going to talk about the winner of the fantasy league, and he was on our show last week. Core curriculum himself, Mr. Andrew Corey, who won our ESB Fantasy League. So he is, of course, our fantasy owner of the year. So this SB goes out to you, Core. Congratulations, bud. All right, let's get into it. Our next award is the new concept of the year. We actually have 6 nominees for it. We had a lot of new stuff being launched across all our ESB shows, not just with Empire State of Baseball, with the Clubhouse, with a Bronx Take, and let's get into it. Here's our nominees for the new concept of the year, and I'm so sorry, Tom, that I didn't update this graphic for you, but the ESB Fantasy Baseball League that was created by Tom but commissioned by Corey Favs is up for this award. We also have the New York Strike Exchange Trading Floor that was created by Joe Pugliese up for this award. And then we got Book It, which was coined by our guy, Matt Tooker. Cucks on the Pond. There you go, Big Slick. A nomination for Big Slick on Cucks on the Pond, which was part of the Monday show on a Bronx Take. We also have a part of the Tuesday show on a Bronx Take, Empire State of Betting, which Christy Evans did a great job leading throughout the year. And then finally, one of the newest segments that we introduced across all our ESB shows was Pin Swipes, which was on the Clubhouse, and that was brought to you by Sierra Poteet. Where's my drums at again? I had those drummers before. They walked away from me. Here they go now. Let's go. Drummers once again, please. And the winner of the new concept of the year is Joe Pugliese and the New York Strike Exchange Trading Floor. So once again, Joe with another award here. Good stuff, Joseph.
Thank you. I appreciate all the nominees of this category. There was a lot, in all seriousness, there's a lot of great new stuff. It really is helping the page grow. It's really helping the community not only grow, but get involved, right? Like Chris runs a great Empire State of Betting. That he involves the community. He's there weekly. That's a great concept. Corey with the fantasy, Corey and Tom coming up with the fantasy league. That's a great idea.
Didn't come up with it.
You know,
I invented fantasy baseball. Damn it!
He invented it. Damn it!
I gotta give credit to Sierra. The swipes that she what's it called? The swipies. I'm just making sure I'm getting
Pin
right.
Swipes. Pin swipes.
Yeah, that's a great
Swipies.
idea. It's a play on everything. So I think it's all great. The New York Strike Exchange, I feel like we've just scratched the surface of what this can do. I want there to be more involvement next year. We're going to flesh out this concept more, and we're going to involve more people in it. But next year we're going to start from the beginning. It's going to be more accurate of the entire year and encompass the entire year. So I appreciate all the nominees and I appreciate all the votes, guys.
A lot of people are not happy with the win. Stop the count. Let's start a riot. Pin swipes, Joe. Jesus.
Pin swipes. I'm sorry.
Swipes. The Swipies. That's what I name our next award show. We're going to call it the Swipies.
That's what I call Joe's Take.
Hosted by Joe. The Swipies. Swipies, man. All right. Jesus. All right, move on from that. That's our next Poor Faz losing it. Our next award of nominees is the episode of the year. So this is a big one. The episode of the year. There were some great episodes across the board on the ESBE network. And we start off with one of my favorites, the episode number 112, also known as the Empire Elephant episode from last December. A lot of fun on that one. Struggled a ton, but we had a lot greater participation in there. Sierra was in the mix. Boogie was there. Kev was there. Such a great episode. Keith was there. And this one right here, man, ESB Live's the 2025 MLB trade deadline show, which everybody from the ESB family was a part of and hosted. Such an awesome show that was on July 31st as we were counting down the last few minutes of the trade deadline. Then we have a Bronx Take, and this was a Christy Evans show that was late in the year, and it was centered around the Aaron Judge versus Cal Raleigh debate. Got everybody involved, seemingly of the Yankees community. Went past the hour time limit that we try to go through. Actually, I think this one almost went a couple hours here. So shout out to Chris for a great episode. And then one of the last episodes of the Clubhouse was episode number 5, which was our ALDS Game 3 pregame show. Sierra did a great job hosting that and getting a lot of the members of the Yankees community involved in the conversation as we were previewing a game that ended up being a classic victory for the Yankees in the American League Division Series. And our winner is the MLB trade deadline show, which was hosted by the entire ESB family. Yep. And to tell you what, guys, looking back on that episode, and I said it after the show was done, this was easily the most fun I ever had hosting a show, and been doing podcasting for close to 16 years. And the fact that we were able to pull this off on the deadline day, have all that participation, Corey, it was an awesome day for us on the trade deadline.
I completely agree. I mean, this is definitely my favorite show of the season. Very likely a favorite show we've done in our 4 years here. And what deadline it was, too. I mean, we timed it so that we would be on the air at the end of the deadline, and it was rapid fire. I've never seen a deadline like that. Absolute rapid fire in the last 30 minutes. It was boom, 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 boom. Yep. What a show. That was really a great time.
It's hard to kind of take credit for the greatness that deadline was, that gave us the fuel, but it felt like every 45 seconds it was like, oh, this guy's got traded. Oh, this guy's got traded. And the Yankees and the Mets both being involved, I think, led to it even being better. It was a ton of fun.
I love that concept. Maybe next year, we'll even take a couple hours off of work and start it early.
Oh,
because that
month
was
end, bud.
Yeah, I was working.
Jesus Christ!
Just the concept is great because we're all sitting there refreshing Twitter nonstop, waiting for news to break. We're breaking down the news that is breaking. It was just fun. We would bring Keith or Sierra or anybody in to discuss what was going on, and both teams gave us a lot of ammunition to talk about heading into that deadline.
And for the 80 you guys were for getting Ryan Helsley. You guys were so pumped.
Yeah. Well, look at how that worked out. A Bear of the Year candidate. But for those of you who missed that episode, here's a clip from that awesome trade deadline episode. Check it out.
Specifically to get, I'd probably just be any bullpen guy. Don't really have a name, even though we already got some bullpen guys throughout. I'd grab another bullpen.
The Yankees have just acquired Camilo Doval from the Giants. That is great news. Camilo Doval is now heading to the New York Yankees, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, for that, we got to do one of these. So let's go. Yeah, the annoying alarm sound that went off. Yeah, that was an insane moment there when Camilo Doval got acquired there. Did the whole it was a great time. It was a lot of fun, and looking forward to doing that again on July 31st or whatever the trade deadline is of 2026. All righty, let's move on. We have our next award. It is for the live stream moment of the year. So these moments exclusively happen during one of our live streams that you see on Instagram, X, or YouTube. So here are your nominees: Corey Favs and his amazing rant on the New York Mets following their Subway Series loss to the New York Yankees. Then Joe with a recent one, ripping off the Jets jersey, going crazy on the team. It's become an immediate ask from Jacob Petruzzi every week now when you're going to go crazy on the New York Jets here, Joe. Then you have Keith and his introduction to ESB. It was we had about a couple of weeks of vignettes and cryptic messages, and Keith made his long-awaited debut on Empire State of Baseball on that MLB trade deadline show that we just talked about. And then finally, Tom Wospil and his rant on Aaron Judge being included on the bear list. Truly an epic rant there from Thomas. And our winner here is Corey Favs and his rant on the New York Mets. Corey Favs, congratulations, my friend.
Yes. Thank you. It's this funny thing too, because at that moment the Mets were still well in playoff position. I was going off of pure emotion and anger and annoyance, and little did I know everything I said in that statement ended up being right, which is crazy in the grand scheme of things.
Well, you know what I'm going to do next? I'm going to play the clip. So let's take it back to, I believe it was around June of 2025. Corey,
7, 5, and 6.
We should have swept the series.
All right, we won 2 out of 3 against Pittsburgh in a rainy, disgusting weather week.
Pittsburgh is dog shit.
I understand that, Corey, but you're acting like this team didn't just win 6 of 9.
No,
Corey, you're overreacting. Your memory is short, dude. Yeah, and now we lose
I-
2
it's
out
not
of 3 to the
Are you
Yankees.
short? I have history with this team. We are about to be in the June swoon, baby. It's over.
Corey,
Get me a center fielder. Get me a third baseman who's not Mark Vienna.
Wow. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. Corey just hit so many
Incredible.
things there that ended up being correct.
Just
Needed a
incredible.
center
Wow,
fielder,
that
needed
played
a third
out.
baseman.
I
June
think-
swoon coming.
I think what made that
Oh.
great is like we're so not used to seeing that from Corey on the show. But Joe,
Takes a lot.
Joe, Corey, and I have seen that from Corey Favs for a number of years outside of the show. So for you to bring that to ESB for
Oh,
a rare
man.
occasion was hilarious.
That was
Epic
fun.
moment.
I had a good time that episode. And I see the comments about the same shirt. It is actually the same shirt, different color. I'm wearing a
Oh,
black
I didn't
one
realize
tonight.
that.
It's the same. I have like a bunch of these athletic fit shirts. It's the same brand, just different color.
All right, there you go. All righty. All right. So our next set of nominees will be the fraternity/community awards, but we're gonna actually wrap up with our final segment award. We talked about the winner of the fantasy league. We talked about the winner of the trading floor. So obviously, we got to finish things off by talking about the winner of the ESB games. And once again, Joe Pugliese, who's just racking up awards here. The winner of ESB games was Joe after last week's core curriculum cementing it, 39 points, Tom's 33, Corey's 28, and my 27. Baseball historian of the year, Joe Pugliese, ladies and gentlemen. Joe, go ahead.
At some point when you're up here making your third speech and you feel like, you're Daniel Day-Lewis, you just realize there are some people who are the engines of the train and some people like Tom who are the caboose. So, I appreciate everybody.
I finished second. I finished second. I was second
I
last.
appreciate
So is the Blue
everybody.
Jays.
Tom
What happened to
going
them?
home empty-handed in these awards today, and that makes me happy. So, like I said, I'm the engine. I'm pulling the train. I'm carrying this team to victory, and Tom is on the end of the car, just along for the ride.
Anyone going to defend me, or are you guys going to be a bunch of schmucks? Like, what are we doing here?
I mean,
Tom,
we all-
you had a great run.
objective,
It
we
was
all
just,
lost. I mean, it is what it is. Joe won.
What hurt you, Tom, was the core curriculum basically went even split across the board the last week. Otherwise,
Yeah, it wasn't the
you-
lack of sleep for having 2 children under the age of 3. That definitely was not a factor. It made
Tom,
me-
I have a baby that's a month older than yours.
yeah, not another one too. Maybe I was a little tired for some of these episodes.
Our next award is the cold take of the year. This is now part of our last 3 awards, our fraternity awards, and this is a fun one. Joe, this is one you probably don't want to win, but you are nominated twice here, pal. Our first being on an episode of Extra Innings of all things. Seth Lugo is the 8th best pitcher in MLB. And this is following our play rankings of the starting pitching, where Joe personally ranked Seth Lugo as number 8, and everybody gave him shit ever since. CC Sabathia is not a Hall of Fame pitcher, said Joe back in episode number 113. This was on the Hall of Fame episode, but this has gone longer than the Hall of Fame episode. Let's face it. This is numerous episodes over time. This is numerous years since CC retired that Joe said that this guy has not got the goods for a Hall of Fame. He's not an ace pitcher, never was an ace pitcher. So Joe, of course, getting double tagged for cold take of the year. I also am on there too, and I made this statement twice. The Red Sox are going to win the World Series. Our preview episode back in March, one of our last episodes of the regular season when we were putting together our bracket. I doubled down on it with the Boston Red Sox, who had acquired Vladimir Guerrero. Didn't work out well. The Red Sox dropping the wild card round to the Yankees. And speaking of those Yankees, there's L.I. Yankee King, who I feel like Yankees Twitter would be like, why is he not nominated in all 4 positions with stupid takes? Luckily for L.I., most of his takes were done off of ESB. So he goes, Will Warren should have been the game 1 starter. This was like 2 weeks before the postseason, folks, that he'd said that. Pretty bad one, though. But the winner of, or I should say maybe the loser, really, of cold take of the year is Joe Pugliese, with CC Sabathia is not a Hall of Famer. Again, this is Joe's just racking him up, but this is one Joe probably did not want to win. Am I right here, Joe?
Listen, I will die on my hill. I'm a small hall guy. CC Sabathia is not he's not a Hall of Famer. He's not on the same level as the rest of the guys in the Hall of Fame. All right. He is in the Jack Morris, Burt Blyleven category of the Hall of Fame that barely should be in. He is not even close to any of the last 10 pitchers that have made it to the Hall of Fame. We can debate this all we want. You guys can hate me for saying it. He's in the Hall. I don't believe he's a Hall of Famer. I'm sorry. I'd like my ace Hall of Fame pitcher to have a better than a 3.75 ERA for his career. I'm sorry if I expect a little bit more out of my Hall of Fame pitchers. That's just me.
Dumb take. Guy's got 3,000 Ks. It's a ticket. It should still always be a ticket. I don't care. I am still adamant about my tickets to get into Cooperstown, but Joe still adamant that CC should not be there. All right. Hottest take of the year, or just say the hot take of the year. And here are your nominees for hot take of the year. We have Boogie up here all the way back at take 36. This was before the season started. Toronto Blue Jays would be the biggest threat to the New York Yankees. And he was absolutely right. They took the American League East. They beat the Yankees in the playoffs. They got as far as just winning. There's needing one more game to win in the World Series. That didn't happen. We'll get back to that in a little bit. JoJo with another Bronx take. So the New York Yankees will finish with a 30-14 record. JoJo was adamant that the Yankees were going to finish strong despite the Yankees having that midsummer collapse. He was talking a lot of fans off the roof, including the one who's currently talking. So JoJo even gets nominated for this award. And then I got a nomination too. Cal Raleigh is the best catcher in baseball. And I said this all the way back in February, where my co-host sat there and said it's Adley Rutschman, or it's Williams Contreras, or it's Will Smith. And I was like, no, it's the Big Dumper. Dumper's the best catcher in baseball. He's great on both sides of the ball. He should be our number one catcher here, and you guys are incorrect. And Tom, with the Blue Jays are chokers and always suck. And that is a direct quote. I made sure to go back to that episode, Tom, number 133. You said it. Blue Jays are chokers and always suck. And look, They had their chances in those final two games, and they blew it away. Great take by Tom. But the winner of Hot Take of the Year, and I promise you all, this is not rigged, and I wasn't expecting this at all. The winner of this is me. Cal Raleigh is the best catcher in all of baseball. He was listed as number 3 for us, and realistically, again, should have been number 1. But I think we know Corey, Joe, Tom, next year he'll definitely be the number 1 catcher in all of baseball when we do our player rankings once again. So
100%.
I will take my award gladly for Hot Take of the Year. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, God. Let's finish things up. Our biggest award of the night is the Subscriber of the Year. Now, I got to say, folks, before we get into the Subscriber of the Year, this is a very tough award to figure out because I would nominate everybody here, but the graphic would be 25 pages long, and I don't got all day. So I would not do that. I think most of the people in this chat are idiots. To get it down to jackass. To get it down to 6 was really tough. I really had to consider everything throughout the year. And now looking at our awards, I know next year there's probably going to be more subscriber enlisted awards, but we have this one for now. Subscriber of the Year, and our nominees are, we have Hitman. Our guy Hitman's been with us since our expansion last year. Joey Bag of Donuts, always promoting us across the way from the morning drive, checking in when he can, even before work. This guy works early mornings of the day, but he'll check into us even if it means he goes a little sleep deprived. Our good friend Sierra Yeager. Sierra has been such a great supporter for us for over a year now, between the Twitter Spaces, the ESB streams, always promoting us, always putting us out there. Really do appreciate her support throughout the year. Our guy CK, and it was awesome to be on CK Show, Pinstripes and Censored. That episode is out on their YouTube page. Make sure to give them a follow. CK, again, one of our biggest supporters. Mike Parziali has been a supporter in real life and here with ESB. Joe, Corey, Pars, and I all been friends for a number of years. And Pars, it's good to see him come through in those chats, drop the first messages in, such as Jacob Petruzzi. And of course, Petruzzi dropping in the messages at 7 a.m. in our comments, showing up for all the spaces, all the streams, getting a microphone. So this guy, this was a tough one among these six great Yankee fans. But the winner of the Subscriber of the Year for 2025 is Hitman. Hitman. Shout out to Hitman. Again, one of the very early supporters of all this when we really started going in 2024. He's been with us for every single episode in our comments. He participates consistently. He's in a Bronx take. He's in extra innings. He showed up for anything that we're ever affiliated with. And Hitman, we really do. We appreciate it. We love you for it, buddy. You deserve this. This was not an easy one. This was actually a really close vote when it came down to Subscriber of the Year. But Joe, our guy Hitman, gets the nod.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we could have found a better picture, instead of.
I mean, it's his profile. It's his Twitter avatar. I mean, what do you want to do?
I know, but I'm just saying we should have gotten a better picture for the Cowboy fan Hitman. But we really appreciate him. He's in the chat every single time, every single stream. So he's always in the spaces with us. He's been a phenomenal follower, and I hope he continues to do so.
Absolutely. Shout out to Hitman. Shout out to everybody who won an award. And like I said, as I went through it, I was like, man, there's definitely more awards we could come up with for the community, because you all deserve something. You all deserve our praise. Without you, none of this is possible. So really do appreciate the love and support throughout our fraternity, as we call it here at ESB. But that's it. Those are your 2025 ESBY Awards. Congratulations to all who won that beautiful trophy that you see right there. But we do have to start closing things out, and I have to take this tie off because it is currently strangling me. So let's start the end of ESB season 4. Make sure to give us a follow all on X, the subsidiaries, the main page. Listen, you guys for the most part know where to go at ESB Podcast. Make sure to stay tuned for all the latest and greatest announcements as well. And of course, I have to end things with our off-season schedule, because we have a lot of stuff happening throughout the offseason. We just don't go away. For those of you who were with us last year, you kind of know the deal. We go on a more sporadic schedule every 3 weeks. And that's going to start on Monday, November the 17th. So Monday, November the 17th will be the kickoff of our off-season agenda episodes. Corey Favs, you know the deal with the off-season agendas, bud. This is a fun episode for us. Yeah. And it's so much fun that you're going to break it into 2 episodes. Monday, November the 17th is going to be our New York Yankees off-season agenda, where Tom and I will present our off-season plans as the fake president of baseball operations. And Corey and Joe on the 18th are going to present their plans to David Stearns and Steve Cohen and the Mets brass of what they would do if they stepped into the PBO spot. Corey, this is an awesome episode to do every year.
Oh, yeah. I think when you look at the yearly calendar, the off-season agenda is my personal favorite. It's a fun time of year in general. You're around the holidays. Sometimes do it in December. This year, we're doing it a little closer to the start of the off-season, which is great. We really get to see the big picture. So not only a great time of year, but just a phenomenal episode, seeing the creativity, all the work involved into putting these agendas together, and then all the interaction that follows post-show online as well. It's awesome. It's my favorite show, right up there in the money with Deadline show this year. The Deadline show this year was an anomaly because that's the first time we ever did it.
Yep.
I'm sure we'll do it again next year. But the agenda episode of all the recurring ones we've done thus far is my favorite episode of the year.
Absolutely. Later down the line, we will also, Joe, do our Hall of Fame episode, which is a lot of fun as well. That's going to be, of course, around the Hall of Fame announcement. We do our own version of the ballot and polls we call ESBBWAA, and we'll get into that business at the beginning of January.
Yeah, as soon as the ballots are announced, we're going to pass out our own ballots via Twitter, social media, Instagram, all that stuff. We invite everybody, all of our subscribers, to submit a ballot to ESB. Corey helps run the formulas, and we kind of come up with our own what everybody thinks in our community the Hall of Fame should be. So it's a really fun episode. We really like the discussion. I love Hall of Fame talk. I can't get enough of it. As you can tell, my cold take of the year was a Hall of Fame take. So I think there's a lot of that's going to happen this year, especially with the Veterans Committee, the Contemporary Era Committee. So be on the lookout for that, and that's going to involve everybody.
Completely skipped an episode of our off-season schedule. In December, we're going to bring back a fun one. Tom, and you know exactly which fun one we're bringing back. Empire Elephant makes a return in 2025, baby.
Yeah, and hopefully you're not running it, because you absolutely screwed up everything, not just with White Elephant, just in general, poor effort by you, Rich. And we can only hope there could be a little bit more organization because that was terrible.
So, Tom, why don't you host it this year, and I'll sit in one of the 8 chairs and play the game.
Sure.
All right.
I would love to.
Up here we
Done.
go. Here
Boom.
we go.
Tom is going to be the host of Empire Elephant, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm just going to be a contestant for the first time. So
And
make sure
we're actually going to understand how a White Elephant works, and yeah.
Such a dick. Did you guys really say brown elephant? Come on now. What are we doing here? I'm not the guy now. It's going to be Tom moving forward. All right. So those are a few of the episodes to look forward to in the off-season schedule. Again, it will be every 3 weeks starting on November the 17th. As far as our spaces are concerned, Yankee fans, you already know the deal. Bronx Take is already back on a weekly basis every Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, different hosts sitting in the chair every week. The other spaces, Queens Boulevard, will announce the episodes if there are any during the offseason. There will be an episode of Extra Innings following tonight's show because I want to hear your reaction and your thoughts on everything that went down tonight for this season 4 finale. And as far as our other live streams are concerned, the Clubhouse Uncomfortable Conversation will also announce if there are sporadic episodes that are scheduled throughout the offseason. We'll keep you guys all posted on all of that. But that is it. Season 4 in the books, boys. So let's take it around the room one more time. Get your final words as we close out another season here, Empire State of Baseball. Corey to Joe to Tom, and I'll wrap it up.
I can't believe it's 4 years already. It feels like we just started this episode, this
Unreal.
podcast just 1 year ago, let alone 4.
Thank you to all the subscribers, all the people who followed us week in and week out, where we've had a great year. We're hoping next year is even better. We got a lot in store for you guys. We got multiple shows coming at you that are going to start from day one, not from
Mid-season.
End of the year. So we're going to roll into 2026 with a full slate of content and ways you can join our community. So keep a lookout.
I hope next year's awards aren't as rigged and Joe doesn't find a way to stuff the battles like he cheats in every other ESB game.
You were one of the voters.
And clearly Joe was doing something to manipulate the votes. Chat, I will do my best to not let that happen again next year because what Joe did tonight just is the same level of
Need more room on my
heinous actions that he normally takes.
Man of the people for like the first time ever, Tom. What a hypocrite. Folks,
I am the
again,
people.
I absolutely am going to reiterate what Corey and Joe said, definitely not what Tom just said. Thank you all. We love you. We appreciate you. We thank you for your continued support. Season 4 was another great one for us. And looking forward to getting into the off season and then in season 5. So stick with us. We have a lot more for you. We ain't done yet. See you for the next season, the off season. That is it for Empire State of Baseball. Take care, ladies and gentlemen.
Extra.